What's good, everybody? I'm BPC and welcome to Competitive Origins MMA. Well, the former UFC Welterweight Champion of the World, Tyron, the Chosen One Woodley, sat down for an exclusive interview with Helen Yee. Now, over the course of the interview, he was asked multiple questions, but I kind of wanted to comment on a couple different answers that he gave over the course of the interview that I think that you guys might find interesting topics. Well, the first, Helen actually asked him that, about his status in regards to UFC 260. See, where it is that he's supposed to face off against Vicente Luque, but at the current moment, the UFC is not currently promoting the fight, and hence Tyron Woodley doesn't quite sure know if the fight will take place. But one thing he does know is that he will be fighting at UFC 260, regardless of who his opponent is. Now, my 2 cents on that topic. Well, there's a fighter by the name of Leon Rocky Edwards. And if Vicente Luque is not going to meet him in the octagon, then maybe Rocky will jump in the octagon with him. As we currently know, Rocky is fighting in March. He doesn't have a dance partner right now because Khamzat Chimaev had to pull out. There's been talks about Colby Covington fill in, but there seems to be a little bit of difficulty getting him to agree to the match. So why doesn't Leon just jump on UFC 260 and face off against Tyron Woodley? I think that would be a great matchup. If you recall, these two individuals were actually supposed to face off in the octagon in 2020, and then COVID hit. Leon couldn't get out of the country, and thus the fight had to be canceled. So that's my 2 cents. I think that's what, the UFC 260 matchup should be between Tyron Woodley and Leon Rocky Edwards. Go into the comment section below and let me know what you guys think about that. Now, he was also asked about another individual. That's right, he was asked about Israel Adesanya. Helen had asked him, what do you think about Israel Adesanya moving up to light heavyweight division? And Tyron quickly rolled his eyes on that and basically stated he thought that, Israel had business in the middleweight division at the end of the day. And then as soon as Jon Jones, decides to jump up in a weight class, Israel decides to jump up in weight class, and it didn't seem like he was very positive about it, Now, she followed up by asking him, do you think that Israel can beat Jan? And, Tyron went back to the fact that he can't get past the fact that Israel, decided to, move up when he had all this opportunity to move up ahead of time and go face Jon Jones. Well, Tyron, Izzy was basically too busy watching Competitive Origin MMA videos and didn't have time for Jon Jones at the moment. And if you don't have time for Jon Jones at the moment, hit that subscribe button for Competitive Origins MMA videos. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified as soon as these videos go live on a daily basis. And don't forget to ground and pound the like button. Now, Tyron, continued on by saying that, if you're the best, if you're acting like the best, go up and face the greatest of all time. That if he was given the opportunity to go face off against Michael Bisping, who was the 185-pound champion at the time, while he was the 170-pound champion, he would have definitely done that. He also then talked about how the paydays are going to be completely different with him facing off against Jan as opposed to if he were to face off against Jon Jones. He says there was a lot of talk going on and then basically it was just a missed opportunity. At the end of the day, he said that Israel should obviously do what he wants to do, but just don't talk all this mess and don't do anything about it. He said that he was going up in 2 years, and then, Jon leaves in a year, and then all of a sudden Izzy shoots right up to the light heavyweight division. So, I guess that just kind of has been pondering in his mind. Well, my thoughts on that topic is, he's building up the fight. Izzy obviously is getting better and better and better every fight. He's not trying to make this fight easy for Jon Jones by any means. Honestly, at the end of the day, this could just simply be mental warfare. 2 years of getting into Jon Jones's head before he wants to step up, while at the same time improving his skill set, which obviously we've seen him do time over time. And with the opportunity of him going up to light heavyweight to fight Jan Blachowicz, he's going to be able to test himself against a true light heavyweight. So it doesn't seem like a bad game plan by any means. And also at the same time, it's just going to build up the anticipation. It's going to get the fans excited. It's going to make people want this fight even more. Now, to see Izzy go ahead and win at middleweight and then win at light heavyweight and then to go face Jon Jones at heavyweight would be a much bigger fight than it would for Israel to just go from middleweight and then go jump up to light heavyweight. Israel obviously is thinking about the bigger plan, the bigger plan, which he obviously discussed with Dana White, which we still don't know to this day what it was, but I did talk about it and what I think it is, and I'll actually have a link at the end of this video in which I discuss it, so feel free to check that out. Now, Tyron was asked about, Jan, obviously, and he jumped ship and talked about the Jon Jones situation. But he did go back to Jan and say that at the end of the day, Jan has real power, and a lot of people are overlooking him. They're so concerned with Israel Adesanya, the Last Stylebender, becoming a champ, that it's basically, letting Jan, not have any pressure on him. And that's why he recommends Jan just go out there and do his thing. Well, honestly, that's a true statement, too. There is a lot less pressure on Jan Blachowicz. Everyone's talking about Izzy, so, Jan can go in there with a clear head. Now, if everybody put the pressure on Jan, like he has to win this fight, he's facing a middleweight, it's going to be an embarrassment if you let this middleweight come up here and beat you, the skinny little boy, then obviously there'd be a lot of pressure. But, as Tyron clearly pointed it out, this takes all the pressure off of Jan and puts it on Izzy. Now, at the end of the day, some people are going to say, well, Izzy went up to light heavyweight when truly he's a real middleweight and he didn't even bulk up for it. So therefore, he has nothing to lose as well. At the end of the day, everybody has something to lose. If this fight doesn't go according to plan, it's definitely going to hurt Izzy. Will it destroy him? No. What we like about the UFC is that these UFC fighters are able to take on whoever they want to take on. And if they take a L, they can get right back on their horse and keep on riding. Totally, completely different from boxing, where we see these guys go 30-0 and then actually start facing competition. And even when they do get the title, they then still don't want to face, some of these top challengers. So that's what's really great about the UFC. And I honestly think that Israel is just building up to this fight with Jon Jones. And at the same time, it is taking all the stress and the pressure off of Jan Blachowicz. So this should definitely be an exciting, two matchups if you really think about it. Go into the comment section below and let me know if you agree with what I'm thinking. Let me know if you agree with Tyron Woodley about, Jan has, no pressure on him. And, do you agree with Tyron about how he waited to Jon Jones, he waited for Jon Jones to leave before he wanted to make the jump up there, At the end of the day, I don't think it was a bad decision, guys. I think it was actually smart business. If you look at a lot of these UFC fighters, they are not even willing to face, these other contenders to get to the title fight. Izzy is actually going to fight for a title. I think it's a completely different situation, and it's building up to a much, much bigger fight. Go to competitiveorigins.com, type in promo code MMA86 so you can get 10% off this Competitive Origins, whatever it takes t-shirt. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. I'm BPC, and remember, you've been competing since conception. Whether you're competing against yourself or others, Competitive Origins.